And it says that we're live now. Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews. Um, oh my God. Let me just say, I have not been together with these awesome, fine gentlemen. Oh, there goes AJ. Speaking of the devil. There you go. Let me add him to the stream right fast. Hey, AJ.
What up? What up?
All right, now you made it just in time, my friend. All right, let me get back to it. Now, like I just said, it's been a long time since I've had the pleasure of being with these fine gentlemen. The last time we were together collectively, the six of us, was back in Kaiju Con Line in July of 2020. Now, we've been together in other collaborations. Like I've been on AJ's show. I've had Matt and William on my show. I've had Phillip on my show. We've all done something collectively, not together, but still in some way, shape, or form together. But this is the first time since July of 2020 where we have been together. The band is back together for one night only, and we're talking about, you know what? I was thinking about what should we do to commemorate this awesome occasion, and we're talking about the awesome and fun Godzilla film series from the Showa period. Hey, say Millennium Monsterverse. Take a back seat for right now. We talk about the ones that started it all, the kit and caboodle. Yes. And let me give my Steve Harvey impression and introduce my awesome co-host right here from the greater Cincinnati, Ohio area, the one and the only Phillip Frazier, but you may know him better as Phil the Kaiju King. What's going on, Phillip?
What's up, Leslie? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's staying safe out there. I'm doing fine.
Thank you very much for coming back. We do appreciate it. And of course,
sir.
Down in Florida, yes, Florida, the sunshine state, and the stepchild for hurricanes, apparently. Oh yes, one of my great friends that's been down with me since day one. One of the best Godzilla YouTubers out there. You know him, you love him, Matt Jacobson, but you know him better as Gojira 851. What's going on, Matt?
Not much. How are y'all doing? It has been, as the kids say, a hot minute since we've seen each other. I've had the opportunity to talk to you guys outside of the show, and that's nice. But us all coming together and doing this is where it is, and I'm glad we're all back doing this.
And thank you for coming back. We do appreciate it. And of course, from the Godzilla Files, and also he's an essential worker because I got to put that over. I got to make that announcement, or at least make it known every time that I talk about this dude because he's an essential worker. He's on the front lines, still battling this crazy pandemic. But he's a cool friend of mine and a great YouTuber. Like I said, from the Godzilla Files, the one and the only William Fett. What's going on, William?
Hey everybody, doing good. Trying to enjoy this gloomy Saturday, so this is right up my alley, talking about the Showa series.
All right, and we go to the guy who won the WWE Batista lookalike contest. Just joking. 1984's biggest fan, the one and the only great friend, another great friend of mine, been down with me since day one, the one and the only Butch Bollinger, but you know him better as Brutazilla. What's going on, Butch?
Not much, man. Just gonna have fun hanging out with you guys and talking about the best series, Godzilla, the best series in the Godzilla series, the Showa, my all-time favorite.
See that right there? That right there gonna give you some brownie points. That's what I'm talking about. And last and certainly but not least, you see this awesome guy's face pretty much every Sunday night, along with his awesome father and his wonderful wife and his awesome daughter from the awesome collectibles YouTube show, auction show, the best YouTube auction kaiju collectibles show on the face of this planet. And don't let anybody tell you differently. From Kaiju Live, the one and the only AJ. Not Styles, but Russo. What's up, AJ? What's going on?
What's going on, everybody? I still cannot. When you told us earlier that we haven't done this since last July. I honestly don't believe it. That's
Crazy.
insane. But I'm glad to see everyone's here. Everyone's in good health. So glad to be back. Let's do it. Hit us with those rapid questions.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Before we go any further, of course, let me go and give a huge shout out to the people in the chat right now. We've got 19 people watching. Thank you so much. And that's awesome, especially since this was kind of like a short notice type of thing. But, of course, let me hit my mobile device and see who's in the chat. Liam Foley, what's going on? Gojira 851, hey, come on the show. How you doing? My beautiful queen, Sandra. Say hey to Sandra, everybody. What's going on, Sandra?
Hi, Sandra.
Oh, one of my brothers on Collect All Monsters in the chat. John Ruffin, mykaiju.com. What's going on, John? All right. Bad Goji. Helmy. What's going on, Helmy? Kaiju Live. Oh, I love that show. Eric Stoke. Oh, God. Thank you so much. Alter Run Kaiju. Godzilla Train 1090. Monster with Attitude in the house. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, my God. Just a few people, just the people that we know and love and hopefully love us back. Thank you so much for being a part of this discussion. Celebration discussion into the awesome Godzilla film series from the Showa period. Yes, yes, yes. Now, you're probably wondering, why are we doing this? Well, for one, since, like I said, we haven't been around each other, at least done a show together in over a year. And there have been plenty of ideas I proposed to these guys, because even though we don't do shows on a regular basis like we used to, we still talk to each other every single day. We have a chat room, and we always talk about just stuff, whether it's life stuff, Godzilla stuff. So we have not really got out of contact with each other. We still maintain a close relationship with each other, despite the fact that we don't do that, do regular shows anymore. So I was like, if we're going to be coming back, let's just do something fun. Let's do something awesome. Let's do something that'll put a smile on our faces. And the Showa series of Godzilla checks all those boxes, at least for us, you know. So that's why we're doing this discussion today. Now, we're not going to cover everything about the Showa series. We're just covering the Godzilla films from 54 to 75. We're not talking about the non-Godzilla films like Rodan, Varan, Gargantuous, King Kong Escapes, Frankenstein Conquers the World. We're not covering that. Trust me, there's more than enough to cover with just the Godzilla stuff, and that's what we're doing. So here's how we're going to do it. We go in order like we are right now. Phillip's going to be first, then Matt, then William, then Butch, then AJ, and then myself will fall up on the rear. But the first question is this. What is your overall thoughts, just initial thoughts of the Showa series? When you think about the Godzilla film Showa series in your own words, what do you think about and what do these films mean to you? Phillip, the floor is yours.
I agree with what Butch said. It's the best Godzilla series, hands down. Ain't even close. My childhood is that era. Every time I watch them, I can watch those films countless. I can't say that about Heisei. I can't say that about Millennium. I can't really say that about the new era. It's just everything to me. It's my whole childhood. I remember staying up late on Saturday nights and watching these movies religiously. It's in my heart. It's ingrained inside me. That's why when I did this purge, I did, because I didn't love that stuff. That's why I did it. I kept what I loved, and it's just in my heart. I don't know what else to say. I grew up with it. I've grown up with it. I still watch them. If I'm going to watch a Godzilla movie, it's Showa. It's probably 70s too, but it's going to be Showa. So if I'm picking one, I just want to have fun. It's 70s. The more serious stuff, 60s, of course. But I don't know what else to say. It's ingrained in me. It's hands down the best era. The other ones aren't even close.
Go ahead, Matt.
The Showa series is actually the second part of how I was secondly introduced to Godzilla. I was originally introduced through Godzilla 1984, And let's just say, from that to Son of Godzilla, you could say it was juxtaposition. But then I started watching more and more of them, and they're just incredible films. You know, from the original Gojira to Godzilla Raids Again, even the English dub of Godzilla Raids Again. You know, I didn't see the Japanese version of these films until much later, till when DVDs came out. I remember watching King Kong versus Godzilla as a kid and being salty. Not gonna lie, a little salty.
Absolutely.
More.
Pour some salt
Then
on
a little later on, the gigs started being a little more geared towards kids, which I was a kid at the time, so it actually spoke to me a lot. Once again, Son of Godzilla is one of my favorite Godzilla films, not just from Showa, from all of the entire Godzilla franchise. But then we go into the 70s, and the 70s were just bat crazy. I forgot what I watch language. It was so interesting how it was so fun at the same time. And I think it's really funny, though. A lot of people say those are funny and goofy, superhero-ish, and meanwhile, I got Mechagodzilla filming Godzilla up with missiles, and he's bleeding all over the place, you know, getting blood all over the camera. It's just, it's got a little bit of everything. And the Showa series is a great series, and it gave birth to what we all love is Godzilla. And that's me.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of echo probably what everyone's gonna say here. It's the series of Godzilla films that I pretty much always go back to watch. You know, they're fun, they're easy to get into. You know, they're entertaining. And growing up, that's the movies that I watched. You know, King Kong versus Godzilla, Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. You know, Mothra versus Godzilla. You know, to me, Mothra versus Godzilla is the best Godzilla movie. It not in just the Showa series, but my favorite of all time. You know, it's that good. It can be goofy. It can be serious. Like, the thing that I like about it is that you can kind of pick however you want to view Godzilla. There is a movie in this series for that. You know, whether, you know, he's a nuclear bomb walking, he's a superhero, as Matt said, force of nature, however, villain, you know, however you want to put it, there at one point is a movie in this series that Godzilla is that. So it's just, there's just so much entertainment going on with this series, in my opinion, which makes it the best. All right.
I was gonna
Butch,
say, oh, hold on, there's a real. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, yeah, it's the Showa is the best series, hands down. It's my childhood. Even though Godzilla 1984 is probably the first Godzilla movie I ever saw and watched the most as a kid, I always watched the Showa movies, always going to different video stores like Blockbuster, renting them a million times, and then buying them up on VHS tapes from like Kmart and Walgreens and stuff like that. It's just the best, hands down, and just so nostalgic for so many fun memories. And that's all I really got to say about that. It's just so much fun, and then like just go back to it, and you're just gonna have a good time. I mean, I love the Heisei, but only a couple movies from there. But Showa is, to me, is where it's at.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say show is trash. No, I'm just kidding. Worst series out of all of them. No, Monsterverse forever. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's yeah. I mean, echoing pretty much what everyone said. It's what got that was the hook, line, and sinker. Godzilla sliding on his tail, Mothra vs. Godzilla, Monster Zero. Like, I could pretty much watch every Showa movie if it's on, like or Daikaiju TV. Shout out to Joseph. Whenever, just put it on, watch it. Doesn't matter. I always like one of my favorite aspects of showing people that have never seen these movies. Like when people are so used to seeing like the MonsterVerse movies as like their first Godzilla stuff, and then you show them that, and they're like, is this supposed to be a serious movie? And you're like, you just don't understand. You just don't get it. And I never know how to like even like frame that to people. It's just like I don't. What do you mean? Are you not seeing what I'm seeing? This is pure joy. I don't understand. But yes, Showa is will always have a special place. I don't care how goofy sometimes it looks. It's fantastic. To you, Leslie.
Well, of course, y'all know me. There's a reason why I say every now and then I'm a Showa guy. My first movie was a Showa film that got me into Godzilla. My favorite movie is a Showa movie, even to this day. And like what everybody else has been saying, it's the series of movies that I go back to more often than not. With the exception of maybe 54 and 55, because those are kind of darker, serious movies. But the Showa series from 62 to 75, those movies are so awesome. Those are the movies that I can pop in pretty much every single time or any time. If I want to watch a random Godzilla movie, I'll usually pick a movie from that era. Other movies, I have to be in the mood to watch it, like maybe Shin Godzilla, Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Even though I love that movie, don't get me wrong, but I have to be in a certain frame of mind to watch some of those movies. But if I'm walking into the house after a long day of work, or if I'm sitting around on the couch watching TV, if I have to come across, King Kong vs. Godzilla is on, I'm watching it. Or if Godzilla vs. Gigan is on, I'm watching it. Or if Terror Mechagodzilla is on, I'm watching it. Like, these films are just so fun that it stops me dead in my tracks. And that's what I love about these films. They're colorful films. They were made with the imagination in mind. They were designed just to take your mind off of things, and they just are strictly fun. Now, I know they might be dated special effects wise when you compare it to other films, but the one thing that I say the Showa films have above anything else, they have charm, they have heart, and that's why I always go back to them. And they're just fun. Even the worst Showa film on its worst day, I still will watch over something that has like great special effects or grand spectacle, like the recent Transformers movies. No, give me Godzilla vs. Megalon over that trash any day. You know what I'm saying? But basically, what everybody else has been saying, I just love Showa. I mean, I will still love Showa until the day I leave this planet. And this is great. It's great. Gotta love the Showa series. Now, let's go into some questions a little bit. We can kind of like breeze through these first questions and we kind of go in depth with the other questions later on. And I'm going to introduce a new concept later on, so please stay tuned for that. But the first question is, and Phillip, I'm looking dead at you when I ask this question. What are your top 3 favorite Showa suits, Godzilla suits of himself? Now, I say Phillip because Phillip has a tendency to choose 18 of them. So, daggone it, Phillip. You got to choose 3. So, first question, and people in the chat, if you hear the question, you can definitely answer in the comment section too. But what are your top 3 favorite Showa suits of Godzilla himself? Phillip, go.
Like 1, 2, 3, or don't matter?
It don't matter, but just
okay. 175, 262, 364.
Matt, go ahead. I'm happy.
Because I say 54, 64, and 67.
67.
Yeah, I love the Son of Godzilla suit.
I don't blame him.
I was not expecting that. I don't think I've ever seen. I'm gonna go with this. Let's see, 64. I'm gonna go with what year did Destroy All Monsters come out? Was that
68?
68.
Yeah.
And then 75.
Butch.
This is tough, but I'm going to have to go with 72, 74 and 62.
Yeah, it is tough.
64, 65, 73.
Woo!
All about them crazy eyes on the 73. Man.
Oh God!
He got them swirly eyes.
Yeah, I love it.
No, he got them cocaine eyes. He's like,
Yeah, he got hyped up for that fight. He's like, "You need me there? I'll be there."
and that is funny. When that once again, that Showa, right? When you see Godzilla stump on the scene, he's like, duh, duh, duh. And I mean, as a kid, I loved it. As an adult, when I watch it, I'm like, how many lines did you do before you came over here?
Come here.
But as you saw here, ladies and gentlemen, we all have diverse answers, and that's another thing that's so cool about the Showa series. It's a diverse group of films. You know, it's not just catering to one audience or one character. You know, and this is great. I love the fact that we choosing different ones here. But of course, you know me. Top 3, 64 all day long. Number 2, 74. And number 3, even though I do give the fat guy crap sometimes, but I do love this suit. 62. So, yes, 62. All right. Next question. What is your favorite Godzilla suit that made a one-time appearance? And here are your choices. 54, 55, 62, or 67? Phillip, go.
67, easy.
Matt, we already know. We already know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, 67.
62.
62.
62.
Matt, I'm with you, buddy. 67. I'm with you. I'm sorry. I love that movie, and I love that Godzilla. I love the Godzilla design. The reason why I love that design so much and why I'm able to accept it is because it was perfect for the story that was built around it. I said this many times before. The 67 wouldn't look good in GMK. It wouldn't look good in 84. It wouldn't look good in, let's say, Shin Godzilla. Well,
I'm just thinking about all these movies now with that too.
But no, seriously, like the 67 works the same way the GMK works in GMK, the way Shin works in Shin, the way the Monsterverse works in the Monsterverse. It just works for that particular story. Yes, I get it. It's not the most beloved Godzilla design in the franchise. It is buggy looking, but I love that suit. Even when they brought it back in the water scenes in Gigan, I still love it. All right, who's next? Who's next? Oh,
Next
yeah.
question.
Oh, yeah, that's next question. Next question. Duh. Next question. All right, next question. What are your top 3? You know what? I'll take it back. No, I'll take it back. All right. Give me one of your favorite preliminary fights in a Showa film. And of course, let me give you a frame of reference of preliminary fights. Preliminary fights are basically fights that happen before the main fight of that film, right?
Okay.
Here's some examples.
Only one.
Godzilla versus Rodan from Ghidra, right? Godzilla versus Mothra, the adult Mothra in Mothra versus Godzilla. King Caesar versus Mechagodzilla in 74, right? Jet Jaguar versus Megalon in 73. So, what is your favorite preliminary fight from the Showa series? Phillip, go.
Mechagodzilla Reveal 74.
Oh. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with that as well. That was quite the scene. That was quite the spectacle. All the skin burns off and reveals Mechagodzilla. They get in a stream battle, and Godzilla loses, and then the puddle of blood. Yeah, I'd have to go with that. Yes, I agree.
It's epic, man. It's epic.
I'm going to stick with that movie, but I'm actually going to go with Fake Godzilla versus Anguirus. That whole entire fight just shows you like a completely different, like it's not Godzilla, and you realize that real quick as how brutal he is in that fight.
I'll have to go with Phillip and Matt. The same thing, the Mecha Godzilla reveal fight. I was gonna go with King Kong versus Godzilla fight, but that one's just more epic.
I can't believe I'm the only one. Godzilla versus the giant condor, guys. What? How?
Jesus Christ.
How do we not? Come on. Pinnacle. The pinnacle of. I'm gonna actually have to go with. Really. I'm gonna have to go.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my god.
Everyone forget about the giant condor. Come on, unbelievable.
I'm about to cough up a lung.
Because it's my daughter's favorite monster, and I've watched this scene with her so many times already. I gotta go King Caesar versus Mechagodzilla. That's her favorite. Caesar.
Shout out to Abby. What's up, Abby? Hope you're doing good, sweetie. Man, and there are so many to choose from, you know. At first I was gonna pick Rodan versus Godzilla from Ghidra, but I actually agree with Phillip, Matt, and I think Butch. I think William too. No, William didn't say the fake Godzilla fight, but yes, that's my favorite. Just the visual image of seeing two Godzillas go at it. And I think I said this a few times before. The first time I watched that movie, it wasn't called Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. It was called Godzilla vs. the Cosmic Monster, right?
Yeah.
And this was when I was early into my Godzilla fandom, me learning more about him as a character or as a movie. And I found out this movie was coming on. I never seen it before. And it just so happened my mom wanted to go shopping that day. And right during the time when the movie was coming on, I was like, Mom, I want to watch this. And my dad was gone, so nobody was home to watch me. So she dragged me to freaking Sears and all that good stuff. And she was like, we'll tape it for you so you can watch when you get home. I was like, no, I want to watch it when it comes down. But anyways, we get to Sears, and that, back then they had those big ass TVs, the big block TVs, not the flat screen that we got now, but the big TVs. And there was a whole row of them. And why did I walk in and I saw Godzilla versus the Cosmic Monster on every single TV? It was like 20 TVs, and Godzilla was on every single one of them. And I walk in, I'm like, oh God. And my mom was like, you good? I'm like, yeah, you can go shopping for 14 years. I don't care right now. And I sat there Indian CM Punk style and just watched that movie from beginning to end on like 25 different screens, and just seeing that fight from the oil refinery. That, I wish that fight scene could have been a little bit, we should have seen more of that, quite frankly. But just a visual image of seeing two Godzillas. And like what William said, you knew one of them wasn't the real Godzilla. When we first see Godzilla, I knew right then, I was like, that ain't Godzilla. That ain't Godzilla, because he didn't do his roar, right? And then when we did his fire thing, it was yellow versus the trademark blue, right? But then when you see the other Godzilla pop up out of the warehouse, what the hell he was doing in there, I have no idea. But the visual image of seeing these two go at it was awesome. And then when Mechagodzilla reveals himself, why does Godzilla give him a look like, okay. So, but yeah, that moment was awesome. All right, now let's go to the next question. Since we're on to the fights thing, right? The fight thing. Give me your top 3 favorite fights from the Showa period. If you need a little bit of time, I can go first to give you a frame of reference. Or can you think?
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, Phil,
Yeah.
Go for it. Your top 3 fights from the Showa period.
Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla final fight with King Caesar. Godzilla versus Gigan, and Godzilla versus Hedra. That's mine.
All right. So I love the entire battle between Godzilla and Hedorah and Godzilla Raids again. Okay. I also really liked the final battle of Destroy All Monsters, even though half the roster was just spectating. It was still fun to see, and I kind of marked out when I saw Gorosaurus do his thing. And
yeah.
And my number 3, can I please pick a 4th one? Come on, can I cheat this one time?
You know what? You know what? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So we had the tag team action with Godzilla and Angus versus Gigan and Ghidra. That was awesome. But once again, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, Godzilla and King Caesar versus Mechagodzilla. Okay, that's the only time I'll cheat.
Ooh, this is tough. So I think I'm gonna go with Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla and Titanosaurus. I actually prefer that fight a little bit more because it's more of an uphill battle for Godzilla. Then I think I would do the final battle from Ghidorah, the three-headed space monster, where it's Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan versus Ghidorah. I think that's just epic. And I'm going to go with the tag team match of Godzilla versus Gigan. Gigan's my favorite, probably my favorite Showa movie in the 70s. So it's just a great fight. And it's a long fight, too, which I also really like.
I'm going to cheat like Matt and just say like a little runner-up type thing. It's short but sweet. I'm going to say the Godzilla vs. Monster Zero fight when they fight on Planet X.
Yeah.
It's like the first time we ever see like Godzilla and Rodan and just on a different planet other than Earth. It's just the special effects they used for it, the background. It was just amazing, It's like the Nintendo game come to life, just on a different planet and stuff. Like I said, short and sweet, and of course the birth of the Happy Moment dance. And then I have to say for my top 3, my favorite's probably the Godzilla vs. Gigan fight. I would say Godzilla, King Kong versus Godzilla, the final fight. I love that fight.
Yeah.
And then I would say, I got to pick one. It's kind of a tie almost between Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla final fight and then Godzilla versus Hedra. But I'll pick Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Maya?
Yeah.
All right. So I gotta echo Butch on the Happy Moment Planet X fight, obviously. Absolutely love everything about that movie, including just the dance, all that way. I love all the silly stuff. The Godzilla tail slide, that fight, the best.
I love that.
Literally the best. And then you know what? I'll get even sillier. Godzilla versus Ibra when they're literally playing volleyball.
So okay.
Yeah. There's so many to choose from. I'll go with the goofy ones.
All I can say is I think William and I have the same brain because he took every single answer that I was going to say. My top 3 are basically his. The final fight to Gigan, the final fight to Terror, and the final fight to Ghidorah. Those, and I'm going to cheat along with y'all. My runner-up would have been the Kong versus Godzilla fight. I think GVK kind of shows it up a little bit more, but you can't deny how classic that fight is, Yeah. So, all right. Here's the next question, and it's very interesting if I do say so myself. I came up with them, so I think they're interesting. All right. What Showa film did you like as a kid, but you don't really care for right now, or vice versa? Which film maybe did you hate as a kid, but you love now as an adult? Is there a movie from the Showa period that falls in that type of thing? Phillip, go first.
People are gonna hate me. Damn. Destroy All Monsters. I think that's overrated. Highly overrated.
Now, did you enjoy it as a kid, and now you just don't? But
I did, but now I'm like, eh.
I think as a kid you only remember like the 2 fight scenes and not the like 50 minutes of just human action and rockets flying around. And then
I
when
think-
you actually watch it as an adult, you're like, wait, what?
What turns me off to it is, I mean, Ghidorah gets beat in movies, but he got murdered in that movie, man. It wasn't even like, this is bullying, kaiju bullying. What's going on here? Like, it's 12 against 1 or whatever. I'm like, good Lord. I think that's what turned me off when I got older. Like, this ain't even right. Like, I know he's the bad guy, but darn.
What's crazy to me is that, like, the Kilax, like, that was their go-to. Like, okay, we have Ghidorah. And they literally are seeing like 12 other kaiju, like just like right in front of their base. And they're like, well, we also have this spaceship that also kind of like can burn through everything, but we're not going to send them out together. We'll just send out Ghidorah first and it'll be fine. And we'll figure out everything else later. It's like,
he got.
Moral strategy, Cotton. That's what it works out for.
Matt, I see the look on your face. Are you about to say something controversial?
Yeah, I am.
All right. And let me just say this, full disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not responsible if any of these content providers lose subscribers due to their answers tonight. I just asked the questions and they just giving the answers, okay? Take it up with them on their respective channel. I'm just kidding. All right, Matt, go for it. What film did you like as a kid but don't care for it now, or vice versa? A film that you didn't like as a kid but you kind of like now. Go for it.
All right, let me go with the film that I didn't like as a kid that I love now. Remember, didn't like as a kid, but I love now. I've loved this movie for a while now, so I used to not like Mothra versus Godzilla.
Bye. I'll holler at you. All right. He's gone. Let's see. Leave stream in 3, 2, 1. I'm just joking. But I do have the mouse, so be careful, buddy. I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Hey, John,
You know what? I think you owe me, AJ, and William an explanation. Since we love Mothra vs. Godzilla, you owe us an explanation right now. Why didn't you like Mothra vs. Godzilla when you were a kid? Tell us now.
Just as a kid, the film just didn't really, click with me until Godzilla showed up. I didn't really understand the human aspect of it. I was really little. I was really, really little when I saw Mothra versus Godzilla. And for the longest time, I called it Godzilla versus Mothra as well. So right there, I wasn't really grasping the whole film.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
And when Godzilla showed up, I'm like, yes, this is the awesome stuff. And the stuff was really good with Godzilla. But then I didn't really care for Mothra at the time because my brothers tried to show me the original Mothra because we had that on VHS as well. And it didn't have Godzilla, so it just didn't click with me. It clicks with me now, trust me. And then the ending just really, that's another ending that had me really salty as a kid. It's like you're webbing up Godzilla, he's falling in the ocean, and that's it. That really got to me as a kid. But, over the years, I've watched it, with a different frame of mind. I'm like, this movie's brilliant. So I've grown to love Mothra versus Godzilla. So, as far as the other question, God, I don't know. I pretty much love all the other ones. I feel the same way about them. Yeah, I can't pick a one that I loved as a kid, don't like as an adult, because I love them all to watch. So, if you had to twist my arm, no arm twisting. I love them all, except that one as a kid. So, all right. I'm going to stop talking before I bury myself even more.
You're good, man. You're good. Once again, I embrace that. I embrace difference of opinions, even if it's from my favorite movie. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. I know Mothra vs. Godzilla is not going to appeal to every single person. What I see, what AJ sees, what William sees, the greatness in Mothra vs. Godzilla, I understand that the next person may not see that. And I have seen people call it overrated. Some people point out to me some of the flaws in it, and I can't defend that. It is what it is. But hey, on this show, you can say what you want to say and not be persecuted for it. If they do, I'll just delete them in the comment section because that's what I do. So y'all have nothing to worry about when it comes to saying controversial stuff here. William, you're up next. Is there a film that you like as a kid but don't like now, or vice versa?
Well, I'm still in shock what Matt said. So yeah. Leslie is much more forgiving than I am, apparently. So I don't even know you anymore, Matt. I don't even know who the person is in front of my screen right now.
The 7-year-old that had that opinion is long gone. The 30-year-old is here. Opinions change.
I think what I'm gonna go with a movie that I did not like as a kid was Godzilla Raids Again, and I've appreciated it more growing. Now that I'm a bit older, it's still not. I would still consider it part of the bottom 3 of the Godzilla series, but I understand what they were trying to do with it, and there's a lot there that they were kind of tweaking some of the ideas that you would later see in King Kong versus Godzilla. This was kind of like the prototype and how to kind of make the movie. They just couldn't figure out the tone of it. So I would go with that one, to be honest.
But
Okay, I kind of have 2, but the one that I didn't like the most as a kid growing up was Godzilla versus Monster Zero, but I love it more now as an adult, and I think obviously that could be because we hardly see Godzilla and the fights and stuff, and that's what I wanted as a kid more. I wanted to see Godzilla and him fighting stuff, so I think that's why I appreciate it more now as an adult, the story and just the fun of the entire movie. I just love the movie now more as an adult. But I guess when it comes to my second one, I guess it would be I loved it as a kid, but now it seems like now that I'm an adult, I love it more now. Godzilla versus Hedra. I appreciate it for its weirdness, and to me, it's in a way, it's kind of like a perfect Godzilla movie if it was a horror movie. I would say because like how people die, how people get killed, and they turn to skeletons, and the part that scared me as a kid the most was when the guy was hallucinating in the bar or whatever, and the people's got the fish heads and stuff. That freaked me out as a kid. But other than that, probably those 2.
Godzilla versus Hedorah was like I think the first time since 54, maybe 55 that you saw people like actually die in a Godzilla film.
Mm-hmm. Like actually turn to bones and stuff.
Yeah,
not even just die. Just like show it.
Yeah, the guys playing poker or whatever it was, like they're dead. Like you saw collateral damage for the first time from the human point of view.
Although,
which
can anyone
you did not
explain,
see since before.
Yeah, can anyone explain how the cat somehow lived though? Because everything else on Hedorah touched anything that it touched or got near just melted, and that cat was like, "Nah, man, I'm good."
9 lives.
I guess just brush that right off. All right, so film that I hated that I love now is definitely Son of Godzilla. Becoming a dad and all that gives me a total different connection to that movie, especially Godzilla trying to sleep and Minya jumping all over him. Yeah, it's very relatable. But yeah, as a kid, it's just we always called him Kermit the Frog Godzilla. It was just not. We were just like, what is this? Terrible. But now, as an adult, I do appreciate it more. And a movie that I liked as a kid and just don't like. This is probably one of the only Showa movies that I just won't watch if it's on. And I'm going with Phil. Like Destroy All Monsters is just not.
I don't.
Destroy All Monsters takes like all the aspects from other movies and just does it worse. And it just, aside from seeing them all on screen for like that one shot, like it's just like what? There's nothing else there. And I'll get roasted for that. But there we go. me and Phil are gonna die on that hill.
Let's see. For me, well, I don't think any of these films have changed. I think if anything, I've grown to love them more. I guess to a certain extent. But the one movie that falls into this question is actually a film that I didn't really like when I first watched it, but as an adult, I've grown to appreciate it more, and I feel bad it's not in my top 10. And that is Terror of Mechagodzilla. That film, when I first watched it, now mind you, I still prefer 74, even to this day, as a Mechagodzilla movie. And I saw 74 first, and then I saw Terror of Mechagodzilla. And when I first watched it, I was like, oh, okay. Now mind you, I watched the American version that was kind of chopped up. They didn't show Katsura's Katsura. It didn't, it chopped up the fight. The edits, the jump cuts in the fight were kind of wonky. But then I saw an uncut version of it when I got older, and even now to this day, the more I watch it, it just grows on me more and more and more. But I didn't really.
Yep.
Oh, we just lost our host?
Uh-oh.
All right, this is the time, guys. We can do this. The time is now.
Taking over his channel.
Obviously, his.
I'm back. Sorry, it happens.
All right, whatever we were talking about. Don't.
Yeah. You can't keep a good brother down. Yes. Now, okay. Now, back to what I was saying. I'm back, Helmy. The world is safe now. But yes, I didn't really appreciate Terror of Mechagodzilla when it first came out, or when I first watched it, I should say. But now it's one of my go-to films. Once again, it is so good. I feel so bad it's not in my top 10, but it's right outside of it. It is literally like right outside of it. I love the look of Godzilla. I love Titanosaurus. Man, that's an awesome monster. And like I just said earlier with the fight thing, that is one of my most favorite fights from the Showa period. And the score from Ifukube, oh my God, it's awesome. The only downfall about that film, I hate to say it, is Mechagodzilla. He to me, he looked great, but performance-wise, he wasn't really the killer that he was in the previous film. That's my only complaint about Terror Mechagodzilla, is ironically Mechagodzilla himself. But yeah, that is a film. Terror Mechagodzilla is a film that I didn't really care for as a kid, but I love to death now. All right, next question. From the Showa period, in your opinion, what is your favorite Godzilla entrance where he makes his appearance in the film? What is your favorite Godzilla entrance? I'm sorry, Butch. I know there's plenty to choose from, but you got to pick one. Phillip, go for it. Your favorite Godzilla film entrance.
Damn, this is a hard question.
You damn right it is.
Oh man. Okay. 67 when he's coming through the ocean like a torpedo or something, and he gets up and you're like, what the hell is that? That ugly suit. 67. For some reason I always like that entrance.
I told you he was doing some lines for especially that when he was like this. He was like this. No joke. He was like this. He was like this. I'm like, what cocaine did Rick James sell you, my friend? What kind of cocaine did Rick James sell?
I'm gonna go with 67.
All right, Matt, you up next. Favorite entrance from Godzilla from the Showa period.
You see, I'm kind of cheating with this one because he appeared in the film earlier than his actual appearance.
You said you weren't going to cheat anymore.
What's up?
There's been a lot of cheating.
Yeah, you said you were getting. You're going to be your only cheat like 2 questions ago. Now you're telling me I'm going to cheat again.
All right,
sorry,
so the 64 coming out of the ground when when they realized what the radiation is. Godzilla wakes up and gets out of the ground. As a kid, that was awesome. As an adult, that is awesome. And I always love watching that scene. I love the way how the music plays. I love the way how Godzilla just slowly moves around. Awesome stuff. Now, my original answer was going to be from Godzilla versus Gigan, but originally he was on the island several times, so that's where I kind of felt like it was a cheat, but the 64 entrance is where I go.
Actually, you know what, Matt? You know what? If you want to choose that, you could have done that because I said your favorite entrance, not his first appearance. And when you look at that film, Gigan, right? King Ghidra and Gigan are stomping the Overfinder into the ground and blah, blah, blah. And then Godzilla rises up out of the ocean. That is considered an entrance. So if you want to use that, because that's an awesome entrance. Like I said, King Ghidra and Gigan are stomping the Overfinder into the ground, and Godzilla rises up with that Mothra versus Godzilla theme. When you first hear that theme in 64, it's villainous. But then when you hear it in Gigan, it's like, King Ghidra and Gigan, you're in trouble. And Gigan and King Ghidra both stop what they're doing. And then, like, even Gigan was like, "Arr!" You know? So if you want to choose that, please go for it.
Yeah, all right. Well, then that's where I felt like I was cheating because I didn't know about how the first appearance or his appearance was. So, all right, 72. Godzilla appears and beats up on Gigan and Ghidorah.
All right, William, you up next. Your favorite Godzilla entrance.
Torn between two.
Go ahead and cheat. We all been cheating tonight anyway, so go ahead and cheat.
So I'm going to go with my first one. I really like the 62 entrance from breaking out of the iceberg.
Oh, yeah!
Going right onto shore, onto the army base. I actually prefer it in the English dub. I think it flows better. But then my other entrance that I really like is Godzilla in the Bay, in the original film. Like, you've been seeing him getting closer and closer, and then all of a sudden people are on a ship and he appears for the first time. People start freaking out, and then he makes his way onto shore and everything like that. Like, I love that. I think that's such a great scene.
Man, y'all picking some kick-ass answers. All right, Butch, go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cheat like everybody else, but I would say I agree with you, William. For appearance, I was gonna pick that as my appearance. I love that, the iceberg breaking out, and then the guy like Godzilla, just freaking out, just breaking out and stuff. It's just I love that. And then I would say, now you said entrance. Now I don't know if that means like an entrance like for a fight or just like an entrance like an entrance, but I would have to say like I kind of want to say if this works, the Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla where he's kind of powering up, where it's raining and the lightning's hitting him and he's getting his powers, like like for the magnitude
I count that.
or whatever. Okay,
definitely
that one.
Yeah.
Definitely that one. Then I love
there's
that.
so many. Good Lord.
Just charging up, and that was just so cool, just him absorbing the electricity and stuff. And
That's a great scene.
That's it.
AJ, you up next?
I'm just gonna cheat, and I got 3 of them for you.
Wait, goddamn.
I'll be quick about it. Emergent scene from 64. I love the idea of just like Matt touched on. It's just fantastic from every. The scene in Ghidra the Three-Headed Monster when he comes up out of the water and his eyes are glowing.
Yes.
That always stuck with me as a kid because that's one of the only times that happens, right?
I've never seen him do it ever since.
Yeah, that's not I don't think that happens any other time than that. And then 74 when he's coming for the final fight. And he's just kind of like, you just get him like coming up over the mountain slowly. And he's got that pissed off face. And then he just comes in all hyped up.
Yeah.
That is always one of my work out to that sometimes, man. Just got to get it going.
Let's see. Mine, I guess you probably know what I'm going to say. My go-to answer is probably, the Mothra versus Godzilla scene where he rises up out of the ground, which is a great scene. But you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm surprised nobody on this panel has said this. But they've been saying in the chat, and I'm gonna echo what a few people have been saying. When he appears in Terror of Mechagodzilla, oh my god, oh my god, the silhouette and then the explosion and they zoom in, you know. But yeah, outside of Mothra vs. Godzilla, that is my favorite entrance for Godzilla. And I'm surprised nobody didn't say anything about his appearance in Monster Zero, because that was a good, you know, him rising up out of the lake with the saucer. That was a good entrance, you know.
Hey Leslie, can I get my 1B?
Sure, go for it.
73. When he finally gets there, and he's marching, and he gets there, and poor Jet Jaguar's about to beat the hell back, and he gets there and he stops and he goes. It's so awesome. And then he starts inching around and Jet Jaguar shakes his head. It's just so awesome. I love that. That's probably my 1B.
I can do that. All of a sudden. He does this. Hold on. He stomps. He's like, and he's like,
he's like, let's go. He's like, let's go.
I'm like, why is Godzilla doing the wobble? Why is he doing that? He's like inching around. He's like,
yeah.
He's like, boom, 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 boom. and Gigantic and Megalon are like this. They're like, huh? But yeah, I mean,
I love that because he starts beating them up by himself, and the way I look at that, he inspires Jet Jaguar to get up and fight because he's like watching him like kick their butts by himself. I love that whole fight. It's great.
But again, him, 66, they were doing some lines. That's the only thing I can say. They did some lines. You can't tell any different. All right. Okay. Here is another interesting question. Now, we're talking about the Showa series, right? But let's kind of think outside the box, outside the Showa series. And of course, you had the Millennium series, you have the Monsterverse, you have Heisei. And of course, there's elements of Showa stuff in those era of films, in certain films. But in your opinion, what film outside of the Showa series that's not a Showa Godzilla film would fit right in the Showa series? To give you a frame of reference, I give you mine, then y'all can go and tell me yours just to give you a frame of reference here. I think 1991's Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah would fit right in perfectly with the Showa films because of the whole time travel stuff, right? I think if that movie happened in Showa, a lot of people probably would not give it, a bad rap. They will automatically accept that if it's a Showa film, it's like, oh, okay, the time travel thing, okay, that's Showa. Because so many things happen in the Showa period that's off the wall, like dinosaurs going up into space and space bubbles, dinosaurs, doing tail dragging drop kicks, dinosaurs talking, dinosaurs turning themselves into giant mechanical magnets. So a time travel elements story that's wishy-washy like 91, I think if that happened in the Showa period, I think a lot of people would not even bat an eye. So I think Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah 1991. Hey, Abby! What's up, sweetie? How you doing? You doing okay, sweetie? Oh, I see you got your cast off your arm. You feeling better?
She can't hear you because she doesn't have the headset on.
Well, tell her I say hello and I miss her.
Say hi. Now you're gonna be shy? Okay.
Full disclaimer, that child is amazing. But like I said, I think a movie that feels like a Showa movie, that has Showa-esque elements, that's not in the Showa period, in my opinion, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah 1991. So since I gave you a frame of reference, Phil, what do you think? Phil, what do you think? What film outside of the Showa series would fit right in the Showa series, in your opinion?
Oh, man. I'm going to cheat, give you two. 84. It feels like 54 to me in a lot of ways. And 2019, King of Monsters. Just because all the classic Toho monsters, man. It's like a trip down. And there's so many little Easter eggs and stuff. Those two movies, I think, would fit perfectly in the Showa, for sure.
Where would you put 84 in the Showa series?
I just feel like it feels like the 54 movie because it's just Godzilla and to me anyway.
No, yeah, you're saying.
I know it recognizes 54, but it feels like a new beginning and all that, and it feels like a force of nature Godzilla and how are we going to destroy this thing, and that's where I would put it. And of course, King of the Monsters was just fun, man. It was so good. It was so good to see all the classic monsters, and only people like the true fans really get it. I mean, but those two. Go ahead,
and the thing, and not to cut you off, but one of the most common and most ridiculous criticisms I hear about 2019 is the fact that some people say, I mean, just say what you will about the family drama crap. We all can agree it wasn't the strongest thing in the film. But a common criticism that I've seen a lot from a lot of people when it comes to 2019 is the fact that they say it wasn't too realistic. It was way over the top. And my first response was, you probably have never seen a Showa film. You probably have never seen a Showa film because, like I said, so many off-the-wall, over-the-top Showa stuff, at least moments happen in the Showa films. It's kind of what gives the films their charm. So to me, I mean, I agree with Phillip. I think 2019 would fit right in the Showa era. It just has better special effects, I mean, and I think you could take the classic versions of Godzilla, King Ghidra, Rodan, and Mothra, stick them in 2019, and it would be just as awesome as a Showa film. So I understand where you're coming from with that, Phillip.
I mean, GVK was more off the wall than King of the Monsters, as far as I'm concerned, but it was some of the stuff that went on in it, Kong with an axe, and they opened up so many doors with that movie too. I don't know. I just feel like the two that I think would fit would be 84 and 2019.
All right, Matt, you're up next.
Are we picking two or just one?
You can do one.
I cheated.
I don't care.
You cheated. All right, well, I'm gonna be good this time, and I'm gonna stick to just one. From the Heisei series, Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. That movie is very silly and has a lot of Showa-esque things to it. The story is kind of written to try to be like a spy thriller Showa film. And it's a whole idea of a clone of Godzilla. They have multiple ideas of how it was cloned from Godzilla, how the humans interact. Just immediately having another mech ready to go on the side rather than repairing Mechagodzilla. They have a fully operational Mogera. I can see that happening in the Showa series. The way how the music... the music is also very tricky in that as well, because in the original Godzilla films, the Showa films, they had an original sound, and then each movie, tried to do its own thing. Then we have the Godzilla March, which, carried over to several films. Then in the 70s, they kind of phased it out and had a new sound. Then they tried to start with another new sound. They brought back Godzilla's March again. And then we got to Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. We heard that song once, but then they kind of went off in their own direction with their own sound as well, where the music was done. Kind of Showa-esque is there. So if I was to pick one, that's the one I'd go with. I would have picked the more obvious one from the Millennium series, but I'll leave that to someone else if they want to pick up on that. But if I had to stop at one, Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
I think the obvious answer to this is Godzilla 98. No, I'm kidding. I think
That's a lot of fish.
I kind of agree with Matt. Leslie talked about 91, but I think Space Godzilla really does fit into the Showa period. It's Space Godzilla is an enemy that you could have seen in the Showa, period of films. It just screams Showa, Space Godzilla. You could have had Minya in it that gets trapped. Mothra could have been in space, and that's how it got. Like everything is there to actually put into the Showa period somewhere. You know, you could put it into like the 70s somewhere. It would just work 100% there. Millennium series, I'm not that big of a fan of, so I wouldn't want to move anything into the Showa series because it'll just bring it down. So.
All right, Butch, you up next.
Well, if I think the movie that Matt was thinking of in the Millennium series, if this is it, then I think it's Godzilla Final Wars.
That's a ticket.
I would say that would definitely fit in the Showa because it's basically almost like a remake of Godzilla vs. Monster Zero and Destroy All Monsters. And we see so many Showa monsters make a comeback, even though they didn't really have too much screen time, or their designs weren't too good, like King Caesar and Hedra, for example. But anyway, I just love the fact that it's the movie kind of feels like a Showa film. It's kind of goofy at times. The actors are good, and then you got Akira Takarada comes back. Kumi Mizuno comes back, so you got actors and actresses from the Showa films come back in this. I would say this is definitely right up the Showa alley, like for film, and of course Minya's in it, and yeah, I would definitely say Final Wars.
AJ,
I'm gonna go with Godzilla vs. Kong, the new one. Are we allowed to do that, or is that not allowed?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Godzilla vs. Kong. I love that movie because it plays out like a Showa movie to me.
Thank you.
Like yeah. Godzilla vs. Kong. Freaking giant battle axe. Let's go.
Yeah, giant battle axes. Godzilla burning a hole in the earth.
Yeah, it's nonsense. It's fantastic nonsense. King Kong's just floating in the hollow earth. Like, yeah, just give me all this.
Yeah, yeah. Just they could have killed Bernie. Because God Almighty, I'm sorry, Bernie, he don't represent black folks. I'm sorry, I have to say that. I'm sorry. Ain't trying to make it a race thing, but I'm sorry. Black folks, we're not jittery, we're not ornery, we ain't like that. I'm sorry, we're not and we don't drink bleach by the pound either. Okay, so I think he did black folks a strong disservice. So man, to me, he's like Dr. Stewart for War of the Gargantuans. Why couldn't Kong Godzilla step on him and eat him or something like that? I don't know. All right, we got like 3 more questions, and then we're going to go into the concept that I talked about earlier. All right. Now, in your opinion, and we kind of breeze through these last 3 so we can get to the final concept. In your opinion, and I know one era has more films than the other one, but in your opinion, which one do you like the most? Okay. In your opinion, which era had the better roster of monsters? The 60s or the 70s? Phillip, go. Like which ones, which rosters do you personally love more? The 60s, King Ghidra, Emperor, Kamunga, Gorosaurus.
70s. 70s.
Okay.
Sorry.
Matt, Matt, go for it. I never said it was going to be easy. I never said it was going to be easy.
It isn't easy.
70s for one reason and one reason only.
King Caesar.
You kind of say he was there, but mainly Mechagodzilla. And it's kind of a cheat as well because King Ghidra is in the 70s as well, technically. So I was feeling bad, but I just remember he was in Godzilla's Gigan. So I'm golden.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the 70s as well. Like, Godzilla doesn't fight too many memorable kaiju other than Ghidorah. I mean, Kamunga is a giant spider. He whips those praying mantises like it's nothing. So I gotta go with the 70s on this one.
Before you go, Butch, there's a comment in the comment section. What's up, Robert? Robert Dwyer. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Not trying to single you out or single out your comment, but I want to make this comment. I want to ask this question to my co-host here. I don't know if you've seen the comment, but Robert Dwyer says that King Ghidra alone trumps the entire 70s. So basically, he's saying that King Ghidra is better than Hedra, Megalon, Gigan, Mechagodzilla,
Titanosaurus,
King Caesar, Jet Jaguar. Do you agree with that statement? And if you disagree, this is not something to pick on Robert. Whatever, he's giving his opinion. So, and that's perfectly fine. We welcome that.
With Matt, like Matt said, Ghidra's in the 70s anyway, so we're golden.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's like 72, right? Godzilla vs. Gigan. So
if you're taking just the original monsters from like the 70s and comparing them to King Ghidorah, I would say that like probably his only equal is Mechagodzilla, just from name recognition alone.
I agree.
Yeah,
but Ghidorah is Godzilla's like #1 enemy. They hit the jackpot right out of the gates with him. You know what I mean? So
and I think that's what Robert was going for. His star power, the fact that he is so iconic, trumps the villains, or at least the monsters from the 70s. But I agree with you, Matt. I think the one that kind of comes close to that, or at least on his level, is Showa Mechagodzilla, in my opinion. I know some folks probably would say the MonsterVerse Mechagodzilla. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I mean, Robert's not wrong. We're not wrong. So that's all good.
Yeah, I see exactly what Robert's saying. Ghidra was, the face. He was that Thanos character for the 60s. And he was
that's true.
Production in Ghidra 3-Headed Monster. It took all three of them to defeat him. In Invasion, you can arguably say he won that fight and defeated both Godzilla and Rodan. And then in Destroy All Monsters, it took multiple of them to defeat Ghidra in the end. So yeah, he was, the Thanos of the 60s, and he was an awesome monster. Also in design, also in characteristics as well. And, Godzilla was the hero, and he would throw Godzilla around like he was a ragdoll. So, I can see exactly what he's saying, but what I was pretty much saying is that since Ghidra made it into the 70s as well, so that's why I was more comfortable picking the 70s, overall, and with Mechagodzilla. So that pretty much makes it unstoppable.
And also at the same time, first off, and one thing, I got to get Robert on the show just so we can just talk. I'm not going to challenge him to our knowledge of the show and stuff, because he would dust my ass, because he pretty much wins the Kaiju Jeopardy trivia at G-Fest pretty much every single year. So going up against him is like a paperclip going up against Thanos. But I understand what he's saying, that King Ghidra is so awesome. And when you really think about it, King Ghidra was the monster that effectively turned Godzilla babyface. And as wrestling fans, I'm sure wrestling fans can appreciate that. The good way, or the best way, to turn a bad guy into a good guy is to introduce an even more horrific, stronger, more evil bad guy. And up until, Ghidra 3-Headed Monster, Godzilla was the ultimate bad guy. So you have to come up with something that's even worse than him. And I think they did exactly that with King Ghidra. Of course, he couldn't really defeat Godzilla, but still, you can't deny the star power of King Ghidra. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought her back in the MonsterVerse. And that's why we got a cool-ass statue from Spiral Studios. Plug! I got to put it in there.
Imagine 2019 if Ghidra wasn't in it. People would have been like, Godzilla fans would have been like, what? Really? I mean, that to me, and then the next movie, Mechagodzilla, was there. So to me, that's the big two. So
you know what?
It makes sense.
You know what? I would agree with that statement to a certain extent. That if I was to make one special change with the MonsterVerse, now I wouldn't change anything right now, but if I was to make one special change, and Phillip, you kind of hit on it, I would have loved to see Godzilla and Kong fight King Ghidra. I would have loved to have seen that.
Who says he won't? They might bring Mecha King Ghidorah into it. We don't know. You never know. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, but let's not put any information out there, otherwise they'll come for us and tell me, well, they said on this show that they're going to come back. No, Phillip said it. Phillip in Cincinnati said it. He said that. All right, we kind of get off the beaten path. Where were we?
I think Will is up.
60s, 70s. Yes, Butch, in your opinion, who had the better roster of monsters, or which roster of monsters do you like more, the 60s or the 70s?
Definitely the 70s because of Gigan. I love Gigan, especially the Showa version. And of course, Mechagodzilla and Hedra are awesome as well. So definitely the 70s for me.
Same 70s. Even if you take Ghidra out of it, I'm probably still leaning towards 70s because Titanosaurus, Mechagodzilla, and Gigan. I just, yeah, I'm a huge Titanosaurus fan, even though, I don't think he's got that kind of pull, but it's a dinosaur, a real life dinosaur.
And I think, after almost 2 hours, I think this is the first thing that we've agreed upon, aside from the fact that we all love Showa. I think this is the one thing that we all said the same thing. And I agree with y'all, 70s. I just find the 70s monsters just a little bit cooler. Hedra, Gigan, Megalon, King Caesar, Titanosaurus, Mechagodzilla. Nothing against the 60s, because I love the 60s. But I think what makes with the exception of King Ghidra, I think the cool thing about the 60s monsters is that they're basically are real life, or at least giant monsters based off of real life animals like Ebra, shrimp, Kamunga, spider, Kamacuras, mantis. Outside of King Ghidra, because he's from space, obviously. But then you have Rodan, a pteranodon. Mothra is a giant moth, right? But there's no monsters like Hedra or Gigan or Megalon. Or Mechagodzilla, or even King Caesar to a certain extent. I just find the 70s monsters just a little bit cooler, with all due respect to the 60s. And Robert Dwyer, I'm going to get you on the show. Just let me know when you're available. We can definitely make that happen. All right, 2 more questions. What is your favorite human character from any of these Showa films? You got to pick one. That's not cheating. Do 3 or 4, 2 or 3. You got to pick one. What is one that stands out to you the most? Phillip.
Planet X leader.
The controller. Okay, good.
Yeah, the controller. The controller.
Matt.
I'd say I can't remember his name. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. He's the main guy that's in charge of Mechagodzilla.
Mughal.
Yeah,
Mughal, I think.
Yeah. For some reason, he's got
No. My fault. That's his name in Terror. His name in 74 is something else, but he's the alien leader with the black mark on his face, right?
Yes, that's the dude. Yeah, he's prior to him. I think it's really cool.
Robert, if you know the name of that dude's name, if you know his name, please put it in the comment section because I don't know. But yes, the alien leader from 74, who coincidentally is not the same character, but he's the same guy that portrays the alien leader in the next film, Terror. All right, William, your favorite human character, or just character in general, human-wise or alien-wise, from the Showa period of Godzilla films. Go for it.
I always really liked Steve Martin. I like how they put him into that movie, and you would have no idea that he was actually not a character in the original film. Like the way how they framed it and everything like that. I really do like how they Godzilla. The original Godzilla is a classic film, but Godzilla King of the Monsters is also really good on how they kind of blend in American actors with the original Japanese. Like there are still scenes where people are speaking in Japanese. So I think Steve Martin was like a perfect window into a Godzilla film for an American audience.
Butch.
You rats. You stinking rats. What'd you do to her?
Damn it, Butch, you stole it from me. Ugh.
Nick Adams, Monster Zero.
Yeah, Monster Zero has a lot of my favorite between the controller and Glenn. Yeah. Yep.
And once again, Philip, you took my answer, and that was something that I think anybody was going to pick up on. But I'm glad that people out there, including yourself, have picked up on it. And I do think that he doesn't get enough credit, Raymond Burr. He does not get enough credit for doing what he did in King of the Monsters. Now, it's a shame that he didn't do as much in 85 or 84. Well, 85. He wasn't 84. But my favorite character, and when I came up with this question, the list of usual suspects came up. Namikawa, the controller, the egg guy from Mothra vs. Godzilla, the alien commander from the Mecha Godzilla movies, Ichiro from Revenge. Yes, Ichiro. Dr. Serizawa, right? But the guy I immediately went to was Raymond Burr, Steve Martin from the original Godzilla. And like what William said, without him, I don't think that film, at least the King of the Monsters version, I don't think that film is as good. And even though the film, a good chunk of the film is told through a flashback, but it's not during any of those flashbacks I think this is weird, this is off, this doesn't seem right. It's like his flashbacks make it feel like it's happening in real time. That's how graphic it is. And he doesn't phone his performance. And he brings such authenticity to the role. And like what William said, when you're watching the film, it took me years. It took me seeing the film as an adult to realize that he wasn't there with the original Japanese cast. But his performance was great. It was serious. Like I said, he didn't phone it in. And, speaking on 85, and I know Butch can appreciate this. I'm sure he knows about this. And Mac, I know he's a huge 84 fan. Of course, in case you don't know, they was going to make 84 into a spoof. Or at least they were going to, when they got the rights to make Godzilla 1985, they were going to originally make it into a spoof. Because at that point, people think of Godzilla back then, they think of Megalon and the goofy portrayals of Godzilla. So they were going to make just a spoof of Godzilla 1984, eventually making it to Godzilla 1985. But they wanted Raymond Burr to be a part of the story since he was in the original. But Raymond Burr was like, look, you will treat this as a serious thing. If you want my involvement, you would treat it as serious as it was in the original. Otherwise, you would not be a part of it. And that's why we got Godzilla 1985. And that guy gets my utmost respect. Because, who's to say if we would have got a spoof of 1985, we probably wouldn't have gotten the Heisei series. Because they probably would not taken the character seriously at that point. But I think Raymond Burr deserves a lot more credit than he does get for for the impact that he made on the Godzilla character, and the fact he was just in 2 films and he has such an everlasting impact. That's why he's my favorite character, Steve Martin, an actor from the Showa series, and that's high praise when you got other great actors and characters from this awesome film series.
Real quick, so, I can't believe no one picked the toga leader from Godzilla vs.
Megalon. Antonio.
No one picked him.
Megalon.
Yeah, you know what? It took me seeing the Blu-ray version of that movie to notice that Megalon tassel he got on his head crown. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Megalon right there. I'm like,
that's his head.
yeah. I'm like, because when I watched the film back in the day, the film was so grainy you couldn't really pick it up. But then when I saw it on Blu-ray, I was like, wait a minute, that's Megalon, and he got the toga on with the chest hair, and Sandra watched that one time and she was like, he need to shave that. So
he talks to Megalon like my mom used to talk to me, like trying to wake me up for school, like in the beginning. It's Megalon is such a wild kaiju in that movie. He's a kid.
Basically.
It's so fun,
Megalon.
It's so
but
fun.
Megalon in a way is kind of like Godzilla especially when it comes to the Godzilla from the Showa period, the fact that Godzilla took on so many different character roles, like you said, William, a serious metaphor, a father figure, a superhero, an anti-hero, a straight villain. When you think about it, Megalon was kind of like the same thing. There are times where he could be super serious and dangerous. There are times he could be goofy. There are times he can be an awesome kick-ass tag team partner. I mean, Megalon, and also he was a god. When you think about it, he was a god of these utopian people. So he was so many different things, and it's just a shame that he was only just in that one film. But also at the same time, kind of like Titanosaurus, the Gargantuous, Batra, Space Godzilla, Destroyer. Sometimes all you need is just one film. That way you can appreciate that one film that kaiju was a part of. That's how I look at it anyway. Now, one last question, then we're going to go into the concept that I teased. Actually, you know what? Two more. Just two more questions. Okay. I'm going to give y'all a monster and just tell me your favorite moment or one of your favorite moments involving that monster from the Showa period. Okay? Ready?
All right.
Phillip, your monster is Rodan. What is your favorite Showa Rodan moment in the Godzilla film Showa series?
Oh, the original movie when they discover it when he hatches.
No, from a Godzilla film.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's when he came out of the volcano in '64. Yeah.
Okay.
When he came out, when the guy goes down to get his hat, pays him to go down and get his hat, and he comes out of the side of that volcano. That I love that. And then when he comes up, then he screamed the Godzilla roar. I want to say, yeah. That's so awesome. Yeah, for sure that.
All right, Matt, you're up next.
Right.
Your kaiju is Mechagodzilla.
Mechagodzilla. My favorite. When he just goes all out and he's just firing all of his weapons at Godzilla and King Caesar, just that entire light show, that's like a modern marvel that they had all those rockets shooting out, all the other fireworks shooting out. He had the I-beams doing. I know that's CB, but just all the things that they did with that, all the explosions, and just everybody has to remember those suits are already really hot. Now all these explosions, big balls of fire are going all around them as well. That had to be one of the most uncomfortable things on this planet. And then, just ramble on a little more, in Mechagodzilla, Godzilla running through the exact same thing, and the whole back area of the 75 suit caught on fire. And he's it's just this hell of a spectacle to see. Just when Mechagodzilla cuts and fires all weapons, just stuff.
All right, William, you're up next. Your monster is Mothra. Mothra.
It's probably not one of her favorite moments, but when Mothra bites on Godzilla's tail and just gets thrown around, I think that's like one of my favorite. It's such an iconic moment. Or just, I'm going to say that. I think that's one of my favorite moments is just her holding on to like dear life onto Godzilla's tail in Mothra versus Godzilla.
All right, Butch, you have Godzilla's right-hand man, everybody's favorite four-legged monster, Anguirus, or Angulus, or Anguirus, however the hell you say it, but go ahead.
Definitely what comes to mind is probably when in Godzilla vs. Gigan, when Anguirus uses his spines to launch himself at King Ghidra and Gigan. They both go colliding, and then later on when Godzilla's holding King Ghidra by his necks, and then he's like, come on, and Anguirus just does it like 3 times and stuff. Definitely that moment.
An awesome moment.
All right, AJ.
Oh God.
And no, you good. And appropriately so, you got King Ghidra.
Oh, the one with a bazillion moments. Shit. I gotta say, probably his first appearance, the whole fireball entrance, the whole fire dragon thing. Absolutely love that. I wish they would have done that more, um, as it seems to have been forgotten. But yeah, the whole fire entrance from Ghidra the Three-Headed Monster.
And I'll pick Godzilla. And let's see. Wow. If you thought King Ghidra was
Yeah.
bad, don't feel too bad now, AJ. I got Godzilla. Let's see. And you know what? It just popped into my head. I'm gonna go with the original. When he comes back for the second attack, and the Japanese rig those electrical towers, and they think, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be good. This is gonna keep him out." Now, mind you, we saw, the fire attack on the ships, but we never saw it coming from Godzilla. We saw the ships get obliterated or whatever. So you kind of forget as the movie goes on that Godzilla can't breathe fire, right? And that moment when he's approaching the towers and he's knocking them down, and the Japanese like, "Oh yeah, it's working," and then he just blows fire and melts everything, and he just has an all access pass to Tokyo. You could just tell the Japanese were like, "Oh shit, we are so toast right now." And Godzilla he just comes to Tokyo, and it's like he's like a killer. He's like a demonic killer. He's looking around. He's not like blindly, aimlessly walking forward like Shin Godzilla, and just whatever happens to be in his way gets destroyed. But you actually see Godzilla walk, then he stops and he just looks around like, let's see,
Like a kid in a candy store.
it's like, what can I F up now? Who can I kill now? That's why that second attack is just so awesome. And so that's the moment I'm picking right there, when Godzilla has full access to Tokyo and everything is gone down the toilet. Now, before we go into the concept, just give one answer. And of course, we were talking about the Showa series of Godzilla, obviously, for the past hour and a half. And this is for new fans. Like, what a couple of my co-hosts have said. I'm sure there's some people that have seen the recent Godzilla films from the MonsterVerse, or maybe the recent ones from Toho, Singular Point, the other anime, Shin Godzilla, but maybe have not gone back and watched the classic Showa films. Maybe they've gone back and seen the Heisei Millennium, but they have not gone back to the Showa yet. So, in your opinion, and be objective with it, name one Showa film that you recommend that a new fan must see outside of the 54. Because I think we all can agree on that. But what film from the Showa period do you highly recommend that every Godzilla fan, new fan, must see? Philip, go.
62, just because of the classic battle between two famous monsters. I know there's some goofy stuff in it, but still, 62 for sure. It's just epic. King Kong versus Godzilla. The title is epic, so for sure, for me, it's 62.
Matt, go for it.
Yeah, I'd have to say 62 as well. King Kong and Godzilla. It's a fun movie, and it's a spectacle to see the two, biggest kaiju of all time battle each other. So, yep, I'm with 62 as well.
I think I'm going to go with Ghidorah, the three-headed space monster. I just think if you liked Godzilla versus Godzilla King of the Monsters, this is the original. I mean, in some ways, King of the Monsters was a remake of that one. So I think it's kind of cool to see where all of that came from. So I think that would definitely be my choice.
King Kong versus Godzilla. Just a fun movie and two iconic monsters.
Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. To me, that movie just has pretty much everything from seriousness to campy to nonsense and then you got the core four essentially. So,
let's see. Y'all have talked about some great choices, but the one I would recommend, 74, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. That movie is just fun from beginning to end. Um, it's so fun. You know, you have lots of Godzilla. You know, whether it's the fake Godzilla or the real Godzilla, you have great monster battles. You know, you have some monster gore. You know, you have, of course, it's the retread aliens using monsters to take over the world plot line, but it doesn't feel like, a wasted opportunity. It doesn't feel like, kind of like what AJ said with Destroy All Monsters, where AJ said, and I kind of agree, that Destroy All Monsters takes that concept, but it's like a step down in terms of execution. I think 74 is a step up, in my opinion. I think it can rival Monster Zero in terms of that storyline. Mechagodzilla was a kick-ass character. He was a brutal character. And you want to see Godzilla at his superhero-ish best, even though he's not too goofy like he was in 73. I might as well say 75. It's like the right mixture. And plus the suit doesn't look too goofy either. He has that serious, but yet heroic look, And I think it's one of the best Godzilla films of all time. And I think, if you can watch Godzilla King of Monsters 2019, I think you can watch and enjoy 1974. Now, we are here to the final closing moments of this show. Thank you all so much for being a part of this thus far. But there's a concept I wanted to implement, and we're kind of going to give you like a rough draft version here. Of course, I'm sure y'all heard of the versus battle, right? Where recently, where there's, I think, rap artists or R&B artists, two different artists get together and they basically go in a battle where they go for hit. Like one rapper may showcase some of his hits, and then the other rapper will show off some of his hits to kind of rival each other. And at the end, the audience kind of decides which artist had the better songs, And I think they're doing with comedians as well. I think Dave Chappelle and Damon Wayans going to be doing something, And I thought to myself, that could be applied to Godzilla collectibles, right? Or in this case, it's going to be applied to S Plus collectibles. And because we're all avid fans and supporters of S Plus, and we all have a good chunk of S Plus stuff in our collections, just one or two. So welcome to the first edition rough draft version of S Plus Versus. Now, we're going to do just 3 rounds, okay? Now, when I start doing these, it's going to be more so of a one-on-one type of affair. That way we can do more rounds, and include more figures. But since we're in the closing moments of the show, we're just going to do 3 rounds. And the 3 rounds going to have a different category. And we choose a figure based off that certain question or that category. And you don't have to vote on who wins in this. This is just to give you a taste to come of this concept that I'm going to be doing in the future, So welcome to the first edition rough draft version of X Plus Versus. And here is the first category. They already been prepped, so they already know what they're choosing here. We don't know just yet. At least I don't know just yet. So this is very exciting to see what my panelists would choose. So here is the first category. What is your favorite Rick exclusive X Plus figure from the Showa period? Phillip, go first.
Hot damn.
Right there.
The 67. All right. That's awesome. All right. Matt, you up next. Your favorite Rick exclusive Showa figure release.
All right. Give me a sec.
Nice.
Sculptor's line from X Plus Godzilla. Got this the other day ago. This thing is amazing, and I got the exclusive that comes with the 3 artillery cannons.
Matt, are those die cast or what are those made out of? The artillery cannons.
They're plastic. So.
All right, William, you up next, man. You up
All
next.
Right. Here we go. My
Woo!
Mechagodzilla.
Which one is that? The 30 or 25?
30.
All right.
I haven't taken the brain out since I've put it in because this is pretty much how I display him. It's so cool. So this is my favorite one.
Man, I'm glad I came up with this daggone concept. This is awesome. The 67, the Gigantic 54, the Mechagodzilla 75. See what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? This is what you're going to be in store for when I do the X Plus versus. Oh my God. And plus, everybody here is invited. I'm going to do one with AJ one-on-one. I'm going to do one with Matt one-on-one. I'm going to do one with Phillip, Butch, William, John Ruffin. I'm calling you out. David F. Gopko. I'm calling you out. We're going to do a versus battle. Yes, yes, yes. Woo-hoo. Be ready. Be ready when I call you up. Yes, yes, yes.
Lesnar,
All
I
right.
just got to pull out the Batmobile, man.
All right, Butch, your favorite X Plus Rick exclusive release from the Showa period. Go.
Ooh, also 67.
Ooh, also the 67. Okay. And once again, that's a testament to how awesome that figure is. Once again, that design may not be the most beloved design in the franchise, but you cannot deny that figure. I mean, of course, in our hobby, we have a saying: if you're looking at a figure release and you don't know whether to go Rick or not, they say, "When in doubt, Rick it." And I mean, there are some Ricks that are not worth the extra money, believe it or not. But in this figure's case, the 67, you had to go Rick on that one. That was a no-brainer right there. You get basically three figures for the price that it went for at the time, and that was a great, great, great grab. All right, AJ, I think I know. I see the wing, so you might as well go ahead and show it.
This is one of the centers of my collection.
Woo!
The Rick exclusive promo colors of the 64 Ghidra. I'm sorry.
America.
Absolutely gorgeous. When they announced that they were, when they first showed the pictures of this, I was like, that is it, because I had the golden flying King Ghidra from 68, so I was like, well, yeah, I got to get this one to contrast it. So yeah, love that one.
Okay. Let's see. My favorite Rick exclusive figure from the Showa period. And I'm looking at him right now. Hey, sweetie. He's all the way over there, but take my word for it. The Gigantic Mechagodzilla, 1974.
Yeah. Wow.
Woo! Boy, that thing's like going to church. Hallelujah. Woo! I love that figure so much. And guess what? It's articulated, AJ. No lie. Because like I told y'all, we talked privately. And AJ hit me up one day. He was like, dude, can you believe that they didn't tell us that thing was articulated? I was like, AJ, it's no big deal. No, it is a big deal.
It is a big
deal.
Don't
understand. You don't understand. I'm like, AJ, you want a hug or something? Like he sounded so irritated. I almost FedExed him some muffins. That's how I wanted to make him feel better.
Because for me, and just for because that's the first gigantic we got that's not Godzilla. So obviously, as a collector, you want it to sell well. So then maybe we get that Gigan that was hinted at years ago, or somebody else.
No, we don't need that. I don't need that guy again. We don't need to go that route. I don't need to buy a gigantic.
Well, whatever.
William's in trouble when that comes out.
So for me, it was just like, man, is this just is it just totally static? Like for a robot figure, they didn't even do that on the 30 centimeters or 25s. They all have some kind of articulation to them. So I was just like, what is going on? And then lo and behold, it has a ton of articulation, and it is. Should have won figure of the year last year. Is robbed only because people didn't get it. Everyone got their 84s. No one really got their Mechagodzillas unless you got the Rick, basically.
That
Direct
84
from-
was nice though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it wasn't the
Yeah.
Gigantic Mechagodzilla.
Ooh. Again,
This is-
sitting on
this
your
is
HBO
versus, I
Kaiju Live, okay? All right, second category. We're going to finish up in the next 10 minutes. Second category. All right. It doesn't have to be your favorite, but it has to be a favorite nonetheless. What is give me one of your favorite villains from the Showa period in any scale. Death for Real, Gigantic, 25, 30, favorite sculptor's line or whatever. But it has to be a villain that opposed Godzilla from the Showa period. So, Phillip, what is your favorite villain or one of your favorite villains that you chose for this category? Go.
Easy.
So there's someone that wants a gigantic guy again.
There you go. All right, Matt, you're up next. Phillip chose Guy again. What are you choosing?
Hang on. He's awkward.
$74, 30 centimeter Mechagodzilla. Okay.
Yeah.
I got his partner in crime here, Titanosaurus,
Yeah.
because I knew someone was going to
Oh,
pick
God.
him. So,
Oh, God, that's awesome.
yep, 30 centimeter. He was my second. He was my second X Plus figure ever. So,
Butch, you up next. Guy again. He got the 25. Okay, go
Yep.
for it.
The one you sold me. Yep, guy again. I think the 25 centimeter is just, to me, the superior sculpt when it comes to X Plus. I love this guy again. I can't wait for a gigantic when it decides to come.
Or maybe Spiral Studios can make one. All right. AJ, he
Can't
chose the
fit.
Gigantic Mechagodzilla. Woo!
Look at all this articulation. Let's go. There we go. Yeah, this was.
how did that not win figure of the year?
It's madness to me. I don't.
I have no idea.
It was a tough
I don't-
year, man.
I don't know. And
it was just. I really think it was just a lot of people just didn't. A lot of
Have
people
it.
had their waiting on boats and all that stuff with the crazy shipping that was going on. But
Yeah. I mean, and trust me, I did the poll, and when it came down to that, it came down between the 84 and Mechagodzilla. And I counted that thing at least 14 times. I'm like, and each time I'm like, I cried every single time. I was like, no, Mechagodzilla, I felt like Obi-Wan. You would have chosen one. You would have chosen one.
yeah, it's,
Hell, I felt that Gigantic 89 should have won the previous year, but the Sakai 2002 won that one that year. I don't know. But for me, of course, King Ghidra, 25 centimeter King Ghidra. I don't have him because he's way over there somewhere. I actually have both. I'm talking about the 64, 25 centimeter. I actually have three of them. I got the America one that Agent just showed. I got the golden one, and I have the S Plus USA that came out way back in the day, the resin one of the 64 King Ghidra. But out of all of them, I got to go with the golden one. You know, the golden will always get my goose. So that's my favorite. And the last category, once again, X Plus versus or Kaiju Collectible versus will be coming later on. So be on the lookout when I call you out to come aboard. But overall, you can't pick two. You can't pick three. This is the one time where you can't cheat. You got to pick one. The one figure. Your favorite overall X Plus collectible of a monster from the Showa period. Your favorite Showa collectible. Any scale. Defo. Gigantic. Sakai, 25, 30, favorite sculptor's line. It doesn't matter, but it has to be your overall favorite. In other words, if a fire break out in your house, God forbid, what is the one S Plus figure you grabbing first? Phillip, go for it.
Okay, for a while it was a 68, and then the 75 happened. But then this thing happened, so It's this guy right here, without
Don't
a doubt.
hug him. Don't
I
hug him.
love him.
Don't hug him.
Like AJ said, look at all this articulation. It's awesome. This thing is just freaking awesome, man. It's amazing.
All right, Matt, you up next. Phillip chose the Gigantic Mechagodzilla 74 as his favorite Showa collectible. What are you choosing, my friend? Go for it.
Well, first off, I'd like to comment about the fire thing. If fire breaks out in my house, I'm going to get in a fist fight with it and beat it into submission like I saw in that cartoon. We got to choose. Well, that's easy. Oh, hell of a workout. The Gigantic...
All right, we got two Gigantics. All right, we got two Gigantics.
Well, that streak's gonna end. So sorry. But my right here, my 64, 30 centimeter. This is perfection. They have never made another 64 better than this one. Period. Doesn't matter. Gigantic, Defo, 25 centimeter, favorite sculptors line. This is the best one, hands down.
I agree. But I think I have an idea. But tell us anyway.
You might know, definitely the Gigantic Rick version of Godzilla 62. My favorite sculpt of the Godzilla 62 X Plus figures. Oh, we just lost him.
They stole Leslie again.
The 62 was too much for him.
Yeah.
Again.
It must have been the Rick. Oh,
Leslie, welcome back.
I'm back. Go ahead.
definitely this guy. I think I love the 30 centimeter, but I think to me personally, the Gigantic is the superior one when it comes to the 62 X Plus figures. And this was my very first G Fest purchase from my very first, my biggest G Fest purchase from my very first G Fest. And I remember you, Leslie, and Sandra and Matt were there, and you guys were recording me. I think Matt has it on his YouTube channel. Just an awesome moment for me. I almost went with the burning Gigantic Godzilla, but I'm glad I did. And I'm glad I got this guy instead, because this guy is just amazing and beautiful.
Yeah, that was a happy moment. That
Yeah, it's definitely a happy moment.
Yeah, and that right there makes me miss G Fest a lot more now, because that was a cool ass moment. It really was. All right, AJ, you up next?
For me, I think this is one of the best X Plus figures ever made of Godzilla, and it is the 65. 25 centimeter.
Yeah.
The
Did that win
pose.
figure of the year 1 year?
What's that?
Did that win figure of the year 1 year?
I think it did actually. Yeah.
2018. You sure
There you
did.
go.
This is just like, I don't know. I'm a sucker for like dynamic poses, and this just hits everything. And then John Ruffin's still watching. My Kaiju's made some incredible photos with this thing that it just looks like it's ripped right out of the movie. So that's what I'm going with.
And of course, I'm last on the list, and of course, I think what I'm about to show y'all is no surprise whatsoever. This guy is amazing. I love it, and I'm going to echo what William just said. This is the best 1964 Godzilla they've ever made. But I have the Rick with the closed mouth and the blue dorsal plates. This right here is so awesome. They should reissue this guy ASAP. I'm talking about this. With all due respect to the open mouth one, but I think this Godzilla deserves to be more closed mouth. The dorsal plates, the blue dorsal plates, are the right shade of color. This is, if I had this KOC, this would be my favorite 64 in my collection, hands down. It's just great. It's just awesome. And considering how many awesome figures the X Plus has made from characters from the Showa period, and this one rises above it. But you sitting here just now, the gigantic Favorite Sculptors Line 54, the gigantic Mechagodzilla, the 25 centimeter King Ghidra, the 25 centimeter 65, even those that didn't make our cuts now. The Megalon that came out this year, the 30 centimeter Megalon is awesome, Even Hedorah. I mean, say what you will about the film or the monster, but that figure, the 30 centimeter Hedorah, that figure's amazing. Kamunga, Gigan, Titanosaurus, but for me, this one rises above the rest. And that's basically it with the rough draft of X Plus versus. Once again, this is going to be a full concept I'm going to be doing on my channel moving forward. And, I did a group of us here just to give like a rough draft to give you a taste of what's to come. But it's going to be a one-on-one thing. So I'm going to call you out. And when you get called out, please come aboard because I want to see what would happen. AJ, Phillip, Matt, Butch, William, of course, you got an open invitation to come up and do the whole versus thing. But for those who are not here, for those who have a great collection or whatever that's out there, John Ruffin, David Ebdotko, Godzilla Train 1090, Eric Stoke, all you guys out there, if you want to be a part of X Plus Versus or Kaiju Collectible Versus, right here on Legend Chambers Kaiju Reviews, when I call y'all, accept the challenge because it's going to be awesome. Yes, yes, yes. And that's pretty much it with our discussion, ladies and gentlemen, this evening of the awesome Godzilla film series from the Showa period. If you don't have the Criterion Collection, please get this. You can still get it now at Barnes & Noble. Okay? Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But far as like a good restoration of these classic films and some great added accessories on the bonus disc, for the price, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Once again, it could have been better, just like it could have been like the Gamma series, but it's not really. But it's still a fun set to grab. And like I said, it's still on Barnes & Noble. I was at Barnes & Noble just last week, and they still had a few copies available for a good price. So if you're not gotten this guy just yet, whether it's Barnes & Noble or Amazon, please get your hands on this set. The Showa series of the Godzilla films. Yes, yes, yes. I want to thank Phillip, Matt, William, Butch, AJ. Thank y'all so much for being here. Once again, we have not been together since last year. Kaiju Con Line, July 2020. It's been a long time since we've all been together collectively. Hopefully, moving forward, we will get together more often, because pandemic-wise, it seems like we're going in the opposite direction. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to give any bad negative or put any bad thoughts out there. Just everybody do your part, mask up, do what you have to do. But if things do take a turn for the worse, then, we may go back to doing more regular discussions. There's so much stuff that we didn't tap into just yet. And there's lots of stuff to talk about. And hopefully keep your mind off stuff that's going on in this crazy world of ours. And hopefully we have done that for y'all this evening. Now, before we go, do y'all have anything y'all want to plug? Because I know, Matt, you just did the review of the 54. Phillip, you just put a video out of the Favorite Sculptors line, Rodan. AJ, you have your show pretty much every Sunday night, whatever. We go in the order that we've been going all night. Do you have anything that you want to plug before we get up out of here? Phillip, go.
Yeah, I just put up the Rodan video, and my gigantic 54 video was uploading when we started this. And then I'm already starting the campaign for Megalon for Figure of the Year.
Nice.
This is my X Plus Figure of the Year already. It came out because I wanted this forever, and this is my Figure of the Year for X Plus. So,
you know what? He got some stiff competition.
I know he does.
The top three, in my opinion, the top three so far is Megalon, the Favorite Sculptors Line 54, and the 92 Mothra. That thing is awesome too. If you have not got Mothra 1992, that figure is great too. So I think those will be the top three. I mean, I guess we'll see how the 2019 Rodan is going to be in a couple weeks, maybe. Or maybe the Death Row Biollante will get it, because that figure is looked to be awesome too. But yeah, you're not wrong in that the fact that the Megalon should be in the conversation for Figure of the Year. Or maybe the Favorite Sculptors line Rodan 56. You never know. But I understand what you're saying. Matt, what about you? What you got coming up?
Well, like you said, I just got done reviewing the favorite sculptors line, Gigantic Godzilla. You can see that over on my channel. Lately, I've been playing the game Aliens Colonial Marine, or Aliens Fire Team. It's a fun game. I've been streaming that, talking, and just chilling. In the future, I have several figures that are on pre-order and pre-buy. The '92 Mothra should be on the way soon, hopefully. The Rick Rodan from 2019 should be on the way, hopefully soon. AJ knows this. I have the Redisaur pre-ordered from Kaiju Live. I got the deluxe version. Big fan of that movie. I can't wait to talk about it. After that, not entirely sure what's next after that. I may have gotten a line on getting the Defo Real Biolante, the standard version. Might go with that because I don't have a Biolante X Plus, and I would really like to have one, even if it is just a Defo Real. I still like to have a Biolante like that, and it's quite a large figure from the pictures that I've seen. Oh, also, I have the '92 Mothra on the way someday. I missed the first order for it, and then I had to wait a little bit, and they got reposted to Awesome Collector, and I got the standard version of that. I think it's supposed to be like late September, early October is when I got the second batch. So yeah, that's pretty much me for now.
All right, William.
I don't really have any videos coming up. I'm just mostly just due to the fact of work. I just don't have time. But what I can talk about though for myself is one, Matt, me and you should play some Aliens Fire Team because I'm playing that right now as well. It's a great game. I actually have Biolante coming, Defo Real. I think most people know that she's one of my favorite kaijus that Godzilla faces. Hopefully we'll get a Rose Biolante sooner or later. I see the one behind Leslie and I'm just like, I want to go there and like Mission Impossible style, like hang from the roof ceiling, come pick it up and then just go.
I'll tell you what, when the pandemic lifts, why don't you come down to North Carolina and you can see it for yourself and just bring some bacon because you can't come in the house without bacon. So bring some bacon.
I don't know how many pieces of bacon are going to make it into the house because I like it, but I'll leave you some.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you know what, y'all, every one of y'all, I mean, Aj already knows this. I mean, and Matt's been in my house before. But y'all have an open invitation. Once things get better, whatever, y'all more than welcome to come over here to the house and we can just shoot the have a good time and just, chill out or whatever. So y'all like family to me. I love every single one of y'all. So y'all are more welcome to come when things are feasible to do that. So do that. And
the one other thing that I would like to say is if you're on the fence about it, but the I'm probably going to butcher the name, but the Daimajin trilogy that was just released, like the new box set.
Yes.
Amazing. I was on the fence about it for a while, but then I just pre-ordered it, forgot about it, and then it showed up at my doorstep, and I'm happy I got it. It's a great box set for anyone that likes those films or wants to give those films a try.
Okay, cool. Butch, what about you? What you got?
Don't really have nothing planned. When I start making videos again, I do want to plan on making my first video on a review on the X Plus Megalon because I was blown away by just how awesome the figure is, and just when I start making videos again, that's probably going to be my first review on the on 30 centimeter Megalon.
And also, if I can make a request, yes, by all means do Megalon. But if you can, the next review, could you make it about the Monster Maker 28 Cybot 84 you got? Because I want to see more of that guy.
Okay.
All right, AJ, what you got going on?
Tomorrow we're back, another Kaiju Live. First one back in a while. We were supposed to be back last Sunday, but we were, supposed to get a hurricane that we spent 3 hours basically packing up my entire backyard into the garage to prepare. And then it missed us. It turned right. Thank God, actually. I'm not complaining about that. Better safe than sorry. So I canceled it just because all the original predictions was it was going to be terrible. And I didn't want to be live during that while my house was turning into the Wizard of Oz. So, but tomorrow we're back. We're gonna have an action-packed show. A lot of stuff. X Plus, Sofubi. We're coming back strong. And then for anyone that's watching that is interested in Spiral, there will be some Mothra larva prototype pictures coming very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. And that's all I got.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, you know me. I know I've been kind of once again, I'm sorry if I gave you a heart attack with the unboxing of the Spiral King Ghidra a couple of weeks ago. I'm so sorry. But I have done a few videos on that thing. It's still amazing. Awesome. It's like I come up to my room and check it every single day, which is something that I have not done for a figure in a long time because I work a lot. I'm getting older and my room is upstairs. So sometimes making the trip upstairs is not as easy as it used to be. But I make an exception for this guy every single day. It's like every single day I open the door, I'm like, okay, he good. I do that every single day because he's awesome. Once again, thank you, AJ and Ash from Spiral. So I did an unboxing, the review of Spiral. I do. I love it. I did a unboxing, size comparison, and review. Excuse me, unboxing, review, and size comparison. So I'm pretty much done with the Spiral King Ghidra for now. I'm sure you'll see him again at some point in the future, but I'm planning on doing a chat with AJ at some point, so we can talk about more about whatever Spiral Studios may have coming down the pipeline or whatever he wants to talk about.
Yes.
My next review will be the 1992 Mothra. I'm in the planning stages of getting that done as we speak. And also after that, the KOC 64 that I got from AJ, that will be coming after that. And then, I'll be doing reviews of Death of Biollante when it comes, about that 2019 when it comes. So there's still content coming on the channel. Also, Collect All Monsters. Our next episode will be on September 11th. Ironically, September 11th, 2021. And we already got it planned out what the topic is going to be. I don't want to spoil it here, but I will say, considering what we talked about, Showa stuff, if you're a Showa fan, I think that you will love our next episode. That's all I'm going to say about that. So as you've seen here, between myself, Phil, AJ, Butch, Matt, William, we're going to keep you entertained for the foreseeable future. And thank y'all so much. Thank you, Butch. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, William. Thank you, AJ, for coming aboard. Also, again, William, this is for you, particularly good sir. Thank you so much for being an essential worker. Thank you for being there for us. Thank you for serving humanity. I know I've done the thank you thing over and over again at the point of regurgitation, but let me just tell you, you do a thankless job, and y'all don't get the credit, in my opinion, that y'all deserve for what you do by keeping us safe and treating those who are sick. So I want to say, I'm sure on behalf of the rest of us here, thank you so much for doing what you do, being out on the front lines, working in the healthcare industry, and just doing what you do. We really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. All right, you get a round of applause for me for doing what you do. So
thank you.
So, but once again, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Our thoughts, perspectives of the awesome Godzilla film Showa series. Once again, be on the lookout. X Plus Versus is coming. I'm going to call you out. AJ, Butch, Matt, William, everybody. Godzilla Train 1090, Marcellus, John Ruffin, David Arabdopko, Eric Stoke, whatever. You're going to come aboard X Plus Versus or Kaiju Collectible Versus. Let's battle it out. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's popping. Let's have a good time like we always do on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews live streams. Yes. And we are done with this discussion. Have a fun time watching the Godzilla film Showa series. And just,
Yes,
in honor of us, in honor of, yes, put it on, Butch. In honor of us.
The whole time. It's the whole Don't try to
in honor of us, in honor of this stream, in honor of this stream, in honor of us, either today or tomorrow, before you go back to work on Monday, pop in one of these fun Godzilla Showa films, the original Mothra vs. Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters, Megalon, Terra Mechagodzilla. Yes, pop it in and let's celebrate the awesomeness and the greatness that is the Godzilla film series from the Showa period. Yes, yes, yes. So we thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. We will see y'all again on that Figure Move review. All right? Y'all take it easy. Good night, guys.
Good night.
See ya.